Hey, welcome back. Now that we've covered user story mapping as a technique to create an initial product backlog, let's add another tool to that, the KANO model. Many people use the KANO model for prioritization. I actually don't think that this is a great idea, and I'll tell you about it later when we talk about prioritization ourselves. What I use the KANO model for is to identify additional features for your product or service. Let me explain to you how that model works so that you can see how you can apply it at your work and, of course, initially at the product that you're working on as part of this course. The KANO model in itself is fairly simple. It has two axes. On the horizontal axis, we have the level of implementation of a specific feature. I usually draw it from an almost empty battery to a full battery. On the vertical axis, we would have customer satisfaction or dissatisfaction. So at the bottom, there would be a sad customer face, and at the top, there would be our smiling customer face. Based on these two axes, KANO distinguishes between three different types of features. The first type of feature are so-called hygiene features. And if those features are not implemented well or poorly implemented, they result in high dissatisfaction of customers. But even if you implement them really well, the customer satisfaction is not really high. You basically get a neutral customer. Let me give you an example. Prior to COVID, I used to travel a lot. And as part of traveling, I would spend days and nights, of course, in hotels. Now imagine, in the morning, you go and take a shower. And then you grab the towel that they have provided. And if that towel is, of course, it's clean, but it's not really soft, it's probably not warm, you might be not that happy as a customer. But even if you get the best towel in the world, would that be a reason for you to book that specific hotel again? Most likely not. Let's move to our second type of feature, performance features. For those features, usually we would say the more the better. A great example is the range of an electric vehicle. The further you can go with the car, the higher the customer satisfaction. And for many people, that would actually be a criteria based on which they select one car over another. Another great example for performance features is actually the performance or acceleration of a sports car. The faster the car gets from 0 to 100, the more likely it is that customers will select this car over other cars. There are a bunch of other examples that I could provide. For example, the megapixels of a camera or other things. You can see that a lot of marketers, a lot of companies use the performance features of their products for advertising campaigns. If you look at one of the recent Apple campaigns, they are full of performance features. The performance of their chip, the number of megapixels that a camera has, and so on and so forth. The final category of features based on KANO are so-called delighters. Delighters are actually things that customers don't expect. Delighters are also things that customers can't talk about or don't talk about. You identify them by listening closely and reading between the lines and observing your customers. Let me give you an example about a delighter feature that I observed myself a few years back. When I got my first Tesla, I wanted to connect my phone with the car. The person who was explaining the car to me asked me why, and I said, I want to play music. His response, you don't have to connect your phone to the car to play music. I was like, why? Because we have Spotify and other things integrated into the car system, and it connects to the internet automatically. Of course, I was delighted, because now I would just enter the car and could immediately play my favorite playlist. These type of delighters, as I mentioned before, are usually not things that customers can articulate. It's things that you identify. Now, a delighter can over time become a performance feature and again at some point become a hygiene feature. A great example for that could be navigation system or GPS in cars. Initially, when those things came around, they were absolutely a delighter. Over time, it became a performance feature because the more geographies you covered, the better the GPS. And today, probably a GPS system or a navigation system is considered a hygiene feature for every new car that is being sold, and at some point, maybe not even needed because we have GPSs in our phones. You can see how the KANO model can help you identify new features for your products or services. Think about what features are hygiene features, what features are performance features, and how you can improve them, and what would be delighters to your specific customer group. In our next video, I will give you a quick introduction into running an exercise using the KANO model. I'll see you there.